Namgyal Monastery, the personal monastery of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, are based. He is currently in the United States for 6 months to teach at Namgyal Institute in Ithaca, New York, which is the North American seat of Namgyal Monastery, the personal monastery of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And our translator tonight is Lama Passang. He is a Tibetan Buddhist monk in the Gelugpa tradition. Lama Passang received his initial training at Drepung Losele Monastery and continued his studies in Buddhist philosophy at the Central Institute of Tibetan Higher Studies at Sarnath, Varanasi. He has been a monk for over 25 years and has received teachings and empowerments from many wonderful teachers in India, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Lama Passang is currently a resident teacher at Bakwang Temple in San Antonio, where he teaches Tibetan Lam Rim and as well as general Buddhism. So please welcome Geshe Drakpa and Lama Passang.
Before we start, good evening everybody. Before we start teaching, we will say some prayers. You can listen and enjoy the chanting prayers. Geshe-la, I call Latin term we use for someone who has achieved the degree known as Doctor of Philosophy in English. So anyway, Geshe said that he offered his prayers to the object of to three jewels, and now he's saying Tashidele, which means good luck and warm welcome to this class, and as well as greeting to all of you. And Geshe don't want to spend time talking about his background or his life story or biography, since Christopher already mentioned about it. And when you listen the life story of anybody, you don't trust that much in the life story that you listen about others, because when you listen the life story, it's always said all the good things about the person. Today we don't have much time to talk about the negative aspect of his life story. This is just small joke for all of you before we start teaching. And he extends his warm welcome, and he says he's very pleased to be here and have this opportunity to share his insight and knowledge of Buddhism. And he likes to thank all of you for coming here. Also, he likes to thank the organizers, the members who have organized this class. So today the topic is known as developing mental stability, or that finally leads to meditative serenity. Meditative serenity. So this is the topic that we are going to discuss, and he's going to talk a little bit about this topic. Geshe said that if I put it in a simple way, and it's almost like he's going to talk about how to have rest in and then his master told him to go and stay on retreat in that cave and meditate. And he also sent another person with him as a company for him, and told both of them to go and stay for 1 week at least, and then see how long, whether or not he can continue his retreat or meditation in that very cave. And the Geshe and his friend sent by his master, and they both went to the cave. And because Geshe needs to get to the Geshe needs that person in order to get to the cave, because he don't know how to get there. So once they reached at the cave, and Geshe asked him, "Now you don't have to stay with me. I can take care by myself. I can stay here by myself. You can go back to town." So Geshe sent him back to town. And he's nearby the river, kind of flowing nearby the cave, and at the bank of the river, he saw a lot of rocks piled up, and at the night he heard the very kind of windy. It was very windy, wind blowing, and it's kind of like kind of very noisy. And then it's very powerful wind, and kind of noisy wind blowing forcefully. So it kind of all the rock that is being piled up is kind of falls into the river. Kind of that much strong wind. It's kind of pushing and then throwing into the river. That's how he noticed.
때는 강바들 하고 하실 때는 강복으로 키로 장바하고 하고 하죠.
And it was the wind was too strong and powerful. It kind of shakes the cave. Kind of it's almost like blowing out.
아니 얘들도 주말 주무시 봐요. 취비 주무시 봐요. 많이 그 취비 주무시 봐요.
And he said before he went into bed, he light up a very small candle.
아니 많이 얘들은 이후로 그것을 얘 강바탱이 돼.
And when he tried, and then he lied down on his small bed in the cave, and then as soon as he started getting sleep, falling to sleep, and he felt that someone is pulling his feet. And when he opened his eyes, and wakes up, and then he don't see anything. As soon as he lie down and sleep again, falls asleep again, then somebody pulls his feet.
이래서는 그 얘기가 지금 쉬워서 기다려.
And
얘기했어요. 모든 주 쉬워서 근데 나무를 통으로 넣으시라.
it was kind of dark, and somebody hit him on his head.
마시오시에서.
And he was so afraid. He got very scared.
다 줘도는 줘서야 말 생생하러.
So he has not, he was so scared, but he can't, run away because it's late night in the middle of night. There's nobody else to ask for help, And he was not able to fall asleep for the whole night. And he was so scared, so he started meditating on certain deities, or that we worship sometimes deities, And those even though he meditated upon the deities as an object of his meditation, but those deities have been unable to protect him or help him, to prevent his fear from arising. So in the morning when he woke up and got out of the cave, and he found that all the rocks which been piled up, a lot of rocks, big rock piled up, has been gone into kind of dragged into the river by the force of the wind that blew all over the night. And then in the morning he thought of going back to town, but due to kind of ego that he didn't go back to town because you don't want people to think he went to town and he got scared. And then he kind of insisted to be there. So he tried to be persistent and be there continuously. And as soon as the day when the sun goes down and starts getting dark, and then he starts getting scared again. And he did all kind of things, practice, such as saying mantras and thinking of deities and things like and so forth to protect himself. And none of these methods did work. And then he thought of practicing. He started to cultivate love, love towards those beings, spirits. He developed love towards those who are, those beings or spirits who are trying to inflict harm upon him.
안 딕시라 펜송스.
And that really diminish or reduce his kind of fear.
안 페베나라 제만르바 제게 코란가지 도구소 차송스.
And not only it did work on the love or that been helping reduce or minimize his fear towards the ghost or spirits. It also helped him or helped to establish kind of a close relationship or harmony between the two, between the ghost and himself.
제가 오늘 대해서는 사제 수부들에 대한 생각으로 왔어.
So the point is why he's saying this is because you don't want to meditate and practice meditation in such area that the ghosts are present.
아까 하신 분.
This is just small joke for you.
당도 봄 내려줘. 당도 신의 봄에 주로 와. 신의 봄에 뭐 신디 수 내셔 줘. 뭐 신디 내셔 비야 배부야 쳐서 또 보면 신디 내셔.
So the reason why we practice meditation is to develop the mental stability. The reason why we practice meditation is to develop mental stability.
딱 먼저 한번에 들려줘 봐. 그러나 땅은 수수도 한번 여러 뜻도 한번 와이나 그것은 모르지 한번 하는 거 그거 무슨 그것은 모르지 더 한번. 그냥 쇼게 통하는 것들이 아주 주주로 있잖아. 지 쇼게야 뭔가 가만 오시가 맞았지. 유용사. 아니 쇼게야 아마 무슨 뭐가 또 담아요 그것은 또 상마. 세미양고 담아요 이렇게는 또 얘한테 공개냐.
Geshe noticed that most of people have kind of quiet houses, place to live, and the time of practicing meditation is he recommends you to practice meditation early in the morning, and he also recommends you to eat less at the dinner time for evening, and wake up fresh mind, and then practice meditation. That can be more effective if you practice meditation early morning.
내가 이제 나고 예bat 공부 말했어. 나고 이제 저게 이제 공부 말. 그래서 이제 온다고 하면 야사래.
But it doesn't mean that it is kind of mandatory for you to practice meditation early in the morning. Maybe for you it's more better to meditate. For some people it may be more suitable to practice meditation at night time as well.
나이는 온다고 하면 저번 메시지 차게 가지고.
So when Geshe said when he tries to meditate evening or night, he can't meditate very well, and he loses his mindfulness. But he noticed that some people have more clear mindfulness, so they manage to maintain mindfulness better in the evening or night, and it depends on individual.
아니 공부도 되시는 나도 가지고 온 남아 온 계획이 뭐 아니 공부 전반에 아들 당부 선물 나눠야 즉 선 찾고 뭐 찾고도 뭐 남도 담아도 이거 와 남도 담아도 기타만 이도 그것도 지금 내게 남도 담아도 리만도 남도 그래서 남도 먹고 이거 그래서 남도 내가 고고요도 있어 고고요가 있어 그래서 먹으면 남도 까 까야 고고요 남도 고고요 있어 그래서
So as soon as you sit down for meditation, to practice meditation, what you do is you should try to prevent thoughts from arising in your mind. Thoughts such as that relates to the job that you have, things that you do in your daily life. You try your best to stop or prevent the thoughts from arising in your mind as soon as you sit down for meditation.
남도 다 가야야 타고 약속이 우중우 약속이 그랬어.
In order to prevent the thoughts, the conceptual thoughts, I should say, in order to prevent the conceptual thoughts from arising from your mind, when you practice meditation, the best method is known as the method of inhalation and exhalation, of breathing in and out, the breathing meditation in and out.
제가 우중우도 가려 공부를 쓰다가 얘나 인심이 이제 라고 드레스게 제고 말했어. 그러면 이제 너무 좋지. 예만으로 오야天수 상관없지. 야도天수 예반의 마음도 땅수 상관없이. 근데 내손이지. 내손. 야 너무 예만의 야도 天수 야 예반의 마음도 땅수 근데 뭐 손이지. 근데 너무 이단에 아야 가리 신야 天수 상관없지. 얘는 큰 우주를 마셔지. 각종의 우주 마셔지.
When you practice meditation, let's say when you practice breathing meditation, how you can do this is that you inhale the breath from the left nostril and exhale from the right nostril for 3 times, and you don't want to inhale or exhale from your mouth. You can keep your mouth in natural position or kind of closed. And you inhale from the left nostril and exhale from the right nostril 3 times. And again, and then you inhale from the right nostril and exhale from the left nostril for 3 times. And then when you've done that, and then you inhale through the both nostril and exhale from the both nostril 3 times.
안 쓴데 나로래. 야다 태만지 조송. 태만이 시송. 태만소 쓰는 정하죠.
The counting of the breath should be done at mind, mentally. Mentally you count. You count mentally, not kind of physically. You visualize when you breathe in. You don't have to put you don't want to force it. You force your breath. You have to let it go naturally, spontaneously, and you visualize that you are breathing in and out.
아니 대주 잠반에 저는 기름진에 대조고는 기름진에 정보지 개발 정보지 그랬어. 개발 정보대 인데도 마세세 오고 마세세 개발 정보지 때 홍보대 놓고 그렇지. 대투나
the posture of your physical posture should be the cross-legged, cross your legs and keep your back spine straight, the head a little bit bent forward, and this is the most important posture of the body, that you keep your spine straight and head a little bit bent forward, and cross leg. If you can do that, then that's the good that's the posture which is recommended in the scriptures.
기름진에 대마도는 고개가 되는데.
If you can't have that kind of posture, such as cross leg and so forth, then you can sit on the chair.
그냥 고개 소바면 해도.
But you don't want to sit on the sofa chair.
그때만 딘두로.
It's kind of, you get kind of socked in,
연일이
and then you will start sleeping.
그때 타고 있어.
It has to be more firm chair.
근데 고개가 되는 것도 이해하지.
You don't want to lay back, keep the back spine completely straight.
제가 고개가 되는 게야말로 마음보다 주둔 장면 배주상 주둔 장면 고개가 주될 수 있어.
It is okay that you can meditate sitting on a chair, because when we talk about the future Buddha known as Maitreya, if you look at his image, you will find he is sitting on a chair, even though he is the future Buddha Maitreya. He does meditation sitting on a chair, so you can also do the same, sitting on a chair and practice meditation.
고개가 돼. 라고 그냥 자신 돼. 그냥 들으신 데 두고 보면 되는 거는 그냥 두시하는
The hand posture should be like this, meditative equipoise, and then you can leave open your palm on resting on each knees. Also you can leave your hands in this posture on each top of the knees.
안도 대주 전반에 정보고를 장소 도체 되겠어. 우친구시 바탕상 되겠어. 내가 서로 우친구시 바탕상. 당사서는 아니 셀때 장 우친구시 당사서 양승 차리겠어.
Right after you sit down for meditation, first of all you want to do is you want to exhale forcefully. You will find immediately, as a result, you will find kind of relaxation in your mind. Then you will start counting the breath in and out to left and right nostril by visualization.
어다 되게 테마디 숨투 고시야 진내는 되게 레만니스 하는 숨스를 지는 되게 됐어.
The counting can be done 3 times and then repeatedly 3 times to left and right. You can kind of do it alternately.
되게 제가 차나서 생긴 남도디 다다다 그랬어.
And the reason we have to focus on our breath and count the breath in and out, because it can help us. It can help prevent conceptual thoughts from arising in your mind.
아니 류나 수수 공대에서 류리야 철진 스페이스는 맨날
And when you sit on for meditation, you don't have so many things in front of your eyes, because it can distract your mind. It should be kind of clean and neat. You don't have so many pictures and so forth that can distract your mind.
야, 내 가시에 당신네 류리야 또 사실 좀 류가 내가 대해도 찾아봐야 되는 게 나한테 양해를 시켰어. 대해도 플랜 되는
And if you are sitting on the carpet, as in a floor on the carpet, and then you don't have a carpet with a very colorful carpet, that it is with a lot of design and colorful carpet, that can also distract your mind or scare you, cause distraction.
아니 미실비네.
And it's good if you don't wear your glass when you meditate.
아니 도 데드도 말에 아니 미줘와 미도 좀 마셨어. 미도 좀 줘봐.
And when you sit and meditate, you don't want to close your eyes completely.
아니 미도 친구들이야 당 요요.
You don't want to open widely. You don't open your eyes completely wide.
지난해 가시 공장에 가시 일일 시간이 됐어. 지대게 됐어.
He saw some people are meditating in a way that he did.
근데 미들이 막 숨지만 좀 아니 미도 그런 틀으신 맛이 하스.
And that's not the right posture. So you can keep your eyes in natural position. Don't open it completely. Don't close it completely in natural position.
그냥 대신에 미들 너무 그래서 빠스라 그랬어. 일단은 그냥 깔래 그랬어.
In the scripture, you will see that you have to stare open the tip of your nose, but it is not really kind of mandatory or necessary, because it's kind of it causes you it makes you tired, your eyes can get tired very easily if you focus on the tip of your nose, so you don't have to do it necessarily.
너무 뭐 이런 거 그랬어.
If you have a long nose, maybe that's on the other hand, if you have a short nose and then you try to focus or stare on the tip of the nose, it would be very tiresome. It would hurt your eyes too. You can just stare. You can look at the distance, so it's about 4 feet distance. Then it can keep your mind. It can keep your eyes intact, or your eyes won't get tired.
And those days, that one could come out some do it, come on to put culture, meeting kitchen place. Meeting
so one of the important factors. These are just kind of whatever Geshe has mentioned so far is kind of like a prerequisite, precondition, kind of preparation for the actual meditation. These are what we call precondition or prerequisite or preparation that you have to do before you start meditating. If you are someone who wants to practice meditation and achieve meditative serenity or samadhi, then first thing that you have to decide. You have to decide it. That you have to decide the object of your meditation. The object of your meditation.
제가 미바드 가르에서 미바드 모두 치료로 유딩에 되는 거 말이에요. 미바가 상대로 남아 시작돼야 미바 시작했어.
You can have any form of object, but object should not be the external object of your meditation. The object of your meditation is to be inside the mind, is to be within the mind. In other words, you have to create the picture, image of the picture, or you have to create the image of the object within your mind, and then you focus on that image that you have created within your mind, not on the physical object.
난 미바드 가르에서 미바드라 가르시 하는 지기를 지나잖아.
You can have any kind of any form of any object of meditation. It doesn't matter. You can choose the object of meditation as per your interest, as per your aspiration.
근데 이제 남바도 들으면은 메시지를 보내게 보셔. 인도도 들으면은 옴도 들으면 보셔. 아니 예수도 들으면 예수도 점도 들으면 보셔. 아니 다른 예수도 자당 가들도 보셔. 어디에 보셔나 되겠어.
The object of meditation can be, let's say if you are Buddhist, the image of Buddha can be taken as an object of meditation, and if you are Christian, and then the image of Jesus Christ can be taken as an object of meditation, or with the cross, the cross. And if you are Hindu, Hindu practitioner, and then you can take the object of Om, the mantra, the Om, as an object of meditation. So you can take, you can choose any form of object of meditation. The method that he's teaching here is the method that can be applied and can be used for meditation by any religious follower. How you let's say if you are Christian and you want to choose Jesus Christ as an object of your meditation, and first thing that you do is you have to have a very good look at the image of the Jesus Christ. You look at the object of, you look at the image of Jesus Christ continuously for a long time until you are able to create the image within your mind, and then you start focusing on that image that you have created within your mind. Right now we all are sitting here in this bookstore, but if you can see the image of the reflection of the image, and the image has the image of the object that you have in your house can appear to your mind, even though all those objects that you have in your house do not exist here, are not present here, but you can look at the image of the object that you have in your house and that appearing to your mind right now this time. So if you take a good look at the image of Jesus Christ or any form of the object, and then that the image can appear to your mind, vividly appear to your mind. So the image that you have, the image of the object that you have managed to create it within your mind, the distance that you have to have between the image of the image and your subjective mind or mind, as 4 or 5 feet distance you have to have between the object and the mind when you meditate.
수술이 토 소리가
And the object has to be placed a little bit higher than your eye level.
시라도 토고 지는 중이야. 타는 거 시라 지는 중이야.
You don't want to place the image of the object too far or too close. Its distance should be about 4 and 5 feet.
타는 이거 지는 중이야.
It's not good to have very too close.
타는 그 뜻이 맞춰다가 어서 유에서 민도세야 봐봐서 민마다 쓰는 도시야 되지. 딱이 맞지. 민도스 마대로 삼도는 도시야 되지.
So even of course your eyes have to be stare downwards, but the image you have to have is a little bit higher than eye level, and then you look at that image through your mind.
딱 되게 민바디 당고 지나도록 시작되면 강 총중심을 하라 그랬어.
And at the beginning, when you try to focus your mind, or when you try to focus your mind on that image, it's good to have a smaller image. You don't have a very big image. It is good to have a more small image as possible.
지난시는 친구 여는 시작된 것도 왔어.
In general, it is more easier for us to have. It is more easier for us to have focus on the bigger image.
얘는 이제 총중이 왜나 안 시면 두개 하면 그래서 같이 총원이 되는 시면 두개 하면
But it is the fact that the smaller the object, the smaller image of the object you place in front of your mind, and it is more easier for you to cultivate and achieve meditative serenity.
아니 메디테이션 시작하서는 아니 메디테이션 들리지 소통고 메디테이션 시작하고 싶어야 되겠어. 메디테이션 땡키야 하고 싶어야 되겠어. 땡키야 하고 싶어야 되겠어. 메디테이션 하야 그렇게 하고 있어.
It is at the beginning it would be quite difficult to choose an object of meditation and be able to create the image in your mind.
내가 사실 이제 노상도 간다. 샤라명에 들려요. 그 나온 저 샤라명에 들려요.
Some people really face difficulties creating the image of their object of meditation in their mind.
메디테이션 시작도에 시작이요. 그래서 칸만 라버는 또 삼분의 지시를 시작도 말했어요.
Even though they manage to the name the object, but the image can appear in their mind.
메디테이션 시작하서는 간 메디테이션 총중체, 아니 메디테이션 세부체, 다른 메디테이션은 미용도 와, 메디테이션은 미용도 담아내, 뭐들이야 돼, 그냥 기주 다시 뭐들이 예버 기치고 인상.
Once you are able to create the image within your mind, and that image should be small as possible, and also there should be the clarity of the image, from the image, from the part of the image, and there should be clarity or vividness, and also as well as in the case of the subjective intention or mind. Mind has to have two main features or qualities that mind needs to have, or mind requires two main features or qualities.
하여튼 이것도 시작은 아니 시작이 누구지 봤어. 공기는 것이 공기는 것들이 아니 여당 매기 좋아했어. 여도 매기지. 그 통보 좋아했어.
The mind that is trying to focus on the image of the object should be the mind which is very clear. Clarity, very mind should be what we call, the term I can use is limpidity, and clarity and intensity should be there. Intensity of the mind should be cultivated, and limpidity or vividness should be cultivated at the level of the mind.
뭐 정보집이 되는 얘기들. 다음에 이제 땡케사와 얘나
Or alertness, I should say. Alertness of the mind should be cultivated.
다음에 땡케사는 미디엔티 제우제비요 말이지. 내가 좀 제우다고 있다고.
Once you have chosen the object of your meditation, then you don't want to change it for time being. You don't want to change it, that object of your meditation for time being.
삼성 그 고고요 그래서 제우제비요만 땡케바지냐 삼성 제우 고고요야지 고고태야 먹고요 그래서 고고태야서 그래. 미디엔티 고고태야 먹고 그래서. 알아 완전. 다들 미디엔티 땡케바지. 땡케사서 미디엔티 체로다 충분히 마방스. 아, 근데 삼성도 뭐 미디엔 대대죠. 그냥 랑조도 세고 통해죠. 그래서. 그냥 삼성 랑대부터 뭐 공대요나. 그냥 대조도 세고 통해요. 삼성 세고 통한 까고 통. 미디엔 세고 미디엔 루시가 주도 못 그래서. 주도 맡아 버려 그래서. 제가 미디엔 주도 대주다면 그거 돼야 하고요. 그래서. 그거 그래서.
When you have chosen an object of meditation, the image can be very. Sometimes the image can be very tricky. It can change its color. It can change its posture. It can change its size and so forth. So you have to be alert and be mindful. You have to be able to maintain the focus on the same image that you have established at the very beginning of your meditation practice.
이 빼는 미디엔티 물어와. 그래서 미디엔티 보면은 미디엔티 당고 대대주 보면은 뭐 미디엔 땡케 대주 땡케나 대대주 땡케와이나 땡케주 다들 보면 그게 빠라질 대주도 세고 마찬가지. 랑데나 세라 샤리 모르겠어. 근데 랑주도 공디요 말했어. 마 대대주. 꾸르지나 만슈데니지나. 슈데니지나 슈데주도 미디엔도 공디 자만에 빠라지냐 미디엔티 만 슈데주도 세고 내내들 세. 장데니지나 야 세로 근데 통과했어. 어디서 세고 통과돼 가고 루디오 말했어. 오늘 슈데 당부 슈데를 슈다가 세고 유연해 되는 탈가 되었어.
Let's say if you have chosen an object of meditation as Jesus Christ, the image of Jesus Christ as an object of meditation, and then when you focus your mind on that image, and sometimes the image changes its color, its shape and size and so forth, and sometimes you might experience while you are focusing on object or image of the object or image, while you are focusing on image, you might experience that the image that you have chosen as a sitting image, someone, let's say Jesus Christ sitting image, he is sitting, and then that's not the image is not very clear. It's unclear. It's not really clear. It can appear vividly, or it's unclear, and kind of the posture kind of changes, and it's kind of standing. You might notice or experience standing image is more kind of clear image, and so when things like that happens, but then you don't want to change the posture of the image. You just try your best to focus on the same posture of the image, such as sitting posture of Jesus Christ. When you happen to see the standing is more clearer, and then you start thinking, oh, that's more better as an object of meditation. Then you start focus on that. That's not the right way. You have to keep trying to focus on the same image or same posture of the image continuously until you are able to focus completely on that, until the object appears vividly or clearly in your mind. Sometimes it happens when we meditate and focus on image on the object or image that we have chosen the very small object of our meditation, but somehow bigger object. It appears as a very big object, and it seems more it seems more clear and more vivid. And then but you don't want to follow that kind of image. You just have to keep focusing on on the smaller object that you have chosen at the beginning as an object of imitation.
양 참 동부의 공도적으로 주시지. 방금 세시들이 양 주시 현다지 그걸 사람들도 세부 통보를 했어요. 양 되게 좀 말하고
Or it is same case in respect of color of the object. Sometimes you will, let's say you've been focusing on the image which is blue in color, but in some image kind of transformation takes place in the image. The yellow image seems more clearer and more vivid, and then but you don't want to follow that image. You have to continuously focus on that blue image which is in blue color.
딱 한달 담보에 미디어 가데 친구 가데 중중 가데 미디어 가데 샤이나들 주로 전에 만들었지. 뒤에 있고
그래서. In short, what you have to do is you have to whatever image you have chosen, the size of the image, color of the image, length, width, everything. You don't want to change that at all. You don't have any changes in the image, in the way in which the image looks. You have to try your best to continuously focus on that same size and same color and same length, same width, everything.
딱 되네 마 신의 것들이야. 딱 셈에 보시는 거 같은
So when we talk about the meditative when we talk about achieving meditative serenity or samadhi, we talk about the steps that can finally lead to achieve meditative serenity. We talk about 9 mental abiding, that is known as 9 mental abiding or 9 mental states.
미디어 담보대 봤을 때 담보도 그래서 그 미디어도 그렇게 추스. 봐. 미디어도 그렇게 추스하게 추스만 대리만 와서 쇼를 보였어. 쇼도 이제 추스하게 내가 지로 이런 무대만 쓰는 동네가 추스하게 쓰는 담보도 보였어.
And then the first mental state, or mental abiding is known as mental placement. At that time, the object happens to appear for a second in your mind. Object or image of the object happens to appear into your mind for a very, very short time. It's like a second, 1 second, and then again it disappears. And that's what happens at the level of the first mental state. Very often you would experience, you would find that the object has been disappeared, and even though it has been disappeared, you have not noticed that it has been disappeared due to the forgetfulness. But if you continuously try to focus on the image, and then gradually you will be able to have focus on your image a little bit longer, let's say a few seconds, let's say 5 seconds longer, 2-3 seconds longer, and then compared to the duration of the focus that you had on your image of the meditation. But even though you are able to focus on, even the second one is known as second mental state, or in mental abiding is known as setting placement of setting mind. Even though you are able to focus on the image for a few more seconds, but it immediately, or you will find it often, or immediately disappears. The object disappears from your mind, and you won't notice it at the beginning, right after it disappears. why we why the object or image of the object disappears, because it's object or image of the object disappears from your mind due to the distractions, due to the excitement that you have developed within your mind. Then it kind of dispels or disappear the image from your mind.
쌤 줄이도 초대해서 소다 뒤로 내가 내리는 다 만들어 초대도 왔어. 초대하더라니. 초대 어디도 막 지금 이게 뒤로 공부치러 오는 지 그랬어. 좋아. 소다 뒤로
내가 when we practice meditation and try to focus our attention, our mind on object, image, it often the image disappears, our mind gets scattered, it's distracted. It's because mostly our mind gets distraction towards the five objects of our five senses, such as form and sound and smell and taste and tangible objects. These are the objects towards which our minds get distracted due to the familiarity or attachment that we have developed towards these five different objects of our five different senses.
아야죠 파초 양주 공양 파초 주도 벌써 줄도 초야 되도 많아지. 저 내야 되도 통화도 왔어. 또도 안 바라지 상들 나무리야다. 하고 다 리바들 내 가고 싶지도 그 남도 담마다 되게 뒤로 살로 정화 좀 모르겠어. 이걸 내 마트게. 아주 바제제 남도 담마다 뒤로 살로 정화 모르겠어.
So this is what it is. And the third is known as the patch placement. The patch placement, P-A-T-C-H-E-D, patch placement. When you are trying to focus on image or object, you would notice, or you would find that your minds are, most of the time of your meditation, your minds are distracted towards external things. Most of the time, very few times you are able to focus on your image or object. But most of the time your mind gets distracted towards external things. So you will develop this kind of understanding. You will develop this kind of insight that your mind is in such a condition that it always scatters towards external things. You don't have this insight or knowledge until you sit down and meditate and watch your own mind. When you start practicing meditation and focus on the image or object, then you at the third level or at the time of the third mental state, you will find that your mind gets distracted most of the time towards external things. This is one of the insight and benefit of practicing meditation, that you become aware of how much your mind gets distracts towards external things.
저 남도들의 몽고들이 다 쓰는 아우다 남도 몽고들이 이거 공다 영상 말에서 됐으나 되게 수행한들이 모르겠어.
You might also develop the feeling that now it's almost like I can't practice meditation. I can't develop concentration. It's really difficult. It's really almost impossible for me to cultivate or develop concentration and have complete focus on the image or object of your meditation. You might develop kind of sense of discouragement in your mind. But when you experience such things, then when you develop such feelings, you don't have to be upset. You don't have to feel hopeless. You don't have to develop a sense of hopeless, because it happens. It has been happening from the very beginning of our lifetime, but now you have discovered the instability of the mind and distraction that it always does. Scattering, you have managed to discover the scattered mind, the condition of the general condition of the mind.
괜찮아서 배충 주시해 보세요.
Geshe-la is going to give a small example with respect to this discussion.
남기는 그 범죄 때라도 딱 가고서 지장비 이제 범죄 때로 범죄 때도 치마대 유료 못 땅에 되게 지어졌어요.
When we sit down for meditation quietly, when we stay quiet and sit down and meditate, and then you will notice, you will find yourself that you are often swallowing your saliva. In your daily life, you won't notice these things, but when you sit down and meditate, then you will discover that how often you swallow your saliva as well. And you would also find or experience that you have itchy on many parts of your body. These are discovery, I guess. When you find itching in many parts of your body, it doesn't mean that it happens only during the meditation time. It's been happening all the time, But the thing that we don't notice them because we don't pay attention. And also, it's not the case that you swallow saliva only during the meditation period, but you have been doing it during the daily life, but things that you don't notice it. In our daily life, you always been, swallowing your saliva in your everyday life. And also, you have itchy on many parts of your body in your daily life as well. You don't have, since you don't pay attention on these minor things, you don't notice or you don't discover that these things are happening on your physical part. So this example is given to understand that the conceptual thought arises in our daily life, but things that we are not able to discover, we are not able to notice them, that they are arising in our mind because we don't pay attention, we are not focused to our mind. So when we sit down and meditate and try to focus our mind, then we happen to notice or discover all these conceptual thoughts arising in your mind. This is kind of discovery that you are having. This is just a small example. Does it make sense to you? But despite all the difficulties that you experience while you focus on the image of the object, if you continuously try to focus or meditate and try to focus on the image, you will find progress and find that your mind is less distracted towards external things and more focused on the image more focused on the image of your meditation. Gradually, you will be able to have almost kind of complete focus on the image of your meditation, and that is almost at the level of the sixth, known as pacification. I think I haven't said the term. The fourth is close placement, and fifth is taming the mind, and the sixth is what they call pacification. When you reach that mental state known as pacification, you are able to have complete focus on the image of the meditation. But again, even though you are able to have complete focus on the image of your meditation, but there is one more. There is possibility that there is one kind of obstacle that can arise at the time of meditation, which is known as Chingwa in Tibetan. sinking mind, or laxity, or lethargy, or I see the translation, laxity or sinking mind happens to arises as an obstacle for her to have a complete focus on object of meditation.
근데 내가 또 유르고는 고문도 담아네 유르고는 공미바 마셔서 공투고요 봐 미바 마셔 유르 공투도 담아네 근데 공은 고스도 봐 공지 공은 쉐바 보라더니 당장 내내 차야는 그랬어 쌤 당장으로 무슨 진짜 내지
how does the thinking mind arises? How can you notice that the thinking mind or laxity is arising in your mind? You can notice it arising that when your mind or subjective mind or subjective intention or mind, when you keep focusing on the image, and gradually on the part of the mind, it becomes more unclear. It becomes more unclear. It becomes more dull. Your mind starts becoming more dull, more unclear. There's no more intensity at the level of your mind, and that's the indication that the thinking mind or laxity is arising as an obstacle for meditation.
따스면 미번에 bakang실 당자가 진짜 내주자만에 안고 유르고 차외는 양가 조시라고 그랬어. 맞습 진짜 내가 제 미번에 내도 bakang실 얘는 쌤 코는 당자면은 진짜 내가 얘는 코 유르고 내는 건 양가 조시라고 그랬어.
You are able to have complete focus, your mind is able to have complete focus on the image of the meditation, but the problem is that at the level of the mind, the mind starts becoming more, the mind loses its intensity, and its mind starts losing its clarity and limpidity. So when things like that happens, when mind loses its intensity, its clarity or limpidity, but you still have complete focus on the image of the object, but your mind is not your mind is not intense. So then if you keep practicing in such a way, then it's kind of a danger. It's not the proper way of practicing calm and meditation.